Emma,
Go.
do your thing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Couple of Coaches podcast with me, Emma.
Oh, you're not introing me.
And Matt.
And Mike Clark's it. And I'll take over then.
Oh.
And today we have a special guest.
We do have a very special guest. We have the good old Ben Mark.
Who is a...
Is that meant to be a compliment? Good old
I
Ben
know, that
Mark.
Good
sounded
old
really
Ben.
bad, didn't
At
it?
400 years old, he's still holding on.
The amazing Ben Mark.
who is, well, we'll talk about it, but photographer now.
International fitness photographer.
Yeah.
Give him a bit more than that.
Chuck a professional in
bit
there.
more
We're
credit.
whistling.
Professional.
And identity coach. So, yeah, let's start with Ben and where it all started.
Thank you. So thank you for having me on. So all of this started back when I was younger. I was always like quite active, played football. Come from a background where mum and dad aren't necessarily into fitness. They didn't really focus on any of that type of stuff. My dad always pushed me with football to like, the only one thing I remember from playing football was him saying, as long as you put in 110%, I don't care what the outcome is.
Yeah.
And like that stuck with me to this day. I was always a little bit overweight, but however, our football team, we won a lot of trophies. We were successful, like not to a high level, but within what we played, we won a lot, and we had some good players in the team. And then I had a knee problem, which completely took me away from playing football. It's Oscar Slatis, where like your ligaments don't grow as quickly as your bones do. So my legs are effectively like straightening and I just couldn't bend them. So playing football was just a nightmare. Got into bike riding because it was a lot softer on my knees. Started doing that. That was where the photography came in, because we would go out to ride our bikes, take photos of it. You would capture it and you'd be like, wow, that's cool. And then that was where that started from. And then fast forward 15 years, 20 years, whatever it was. I think I started taking photos in 2004, 2005. So it's nearly been 20 years of
20 years.
It's
That
crazy,
was a
isn't
long
it?
old time.
But not like obviously professional for that whole time, but been doing it for that long.
Yeah.
It got to a point where it was just like, I started, it was more the fulfillment of getting the person the shot, not the quality of the photo. Like I had stuff published in magazines like within like 5-6 months. I didn't think I was that good, but I just seemed to be in the right place to get stuff. And then that was where the understanding of like getting the right timing for people. Then I did a bit like with the photography, I did weddings and all that type of stuff. So that got me a lot more close and personal with people and being able to just take photographs of every moment. And then when I went on my own fitness journey, the first time I lost weight, I lost 38 kilos.
Wow.
Jesus.
Shifted a lot. I still look back at it and I feel like I look like a rake, but it's part of the process. And then, that was then the connection into taking photos of like people in fitness, because I just love the progress. Like I've always been progress driven. Like someone said it to me the other day, and it's like I was like, that's me in a nutshell. It was like I'm a progress addict. I just love that moving forward.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whether it's like family, business, personal, whatever. Like I literally couldn't care what it is. Are you moving forward? And that's why I wake up every day with this like just incredible drive to just keep moving people forward.
Yeah.
And if I really need to like go to that place where you have to have an honest conversation with it, I'm trying to be the person that I needed.
Okay, that makes sense.
10, 20 years ago when I was stuck.
Yeah.
Being bullied as a kid for being overweight, not really fitting in, even though I was the captain of the team and half the guys were bullying me. It was more important to me to find a way to win. And get those people to win. Because without me, they wouldn't have won and then they wouldn't have been successful.
Yeah.
And so, not that I knew that when I was 15, 14, but it now makes a lot of sense.
Now you look back, Well,
I was going to say, obviously you are a photographer, but you are a lot more than a photographer, and people get a lot more out of you than just pictures. So we've done client shoots with you. I did my own personal shoot with you.
Please don't remember.
Which was obviously an amazing experience. Where does that come from? Like being able to make people feel so confident, and like, how do you do that? If that makes sense.
By cutting through the bullshit.
Makes sense. Because it's not easy, is it? Like
No,
I saw it in my last photo shoot. Like loads of guys, jacked up guys, and it's still stiff.
Yeah.
There's nerves there, but you somehow managed to bring that out of people.
It comes out when you're comfortable, when you're calm, right? Someone said this to me. I don't even know who it was. I wish I did, right? if I was going to have a heart attack right now and you were by my side, would I want you to be calm and relaxed and deal with it in the right way? Or would I want you to be panicking, charging around the room going, holy shit?
Yeah.
So
Calm.
every day is like just, it's over the top, but in a moment of need, if I'm going to be like knocking on, possibly losing my life, I want you to be calm as anything and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And at least try to do your best. That's all you can hope for. And so taking that into like a photo shoot experience, obviously not hoping not, but no one's going to have a heart attack. But the whole point of it is if you can calm people down and then just give them a bit of guidance so they can see what they've achieved. Because when you start a process, like they'll sign up with you guys, they will keep thinking they're that person until the day the photo shoot comes. You don't have confidence before the photo shoot. You will know that you've done everything, but there's still going to be that, will it look good? Will it be all right? Will I like it? Some people, they're still in a process and in a journey. And I've been through the same. Like I said, like my first photo shoot, I thought it looked tiny. Then I had to go away and put a bit of size on. I was single at the time, so I was going out on a lot of dates. I was eating the right food, but probably not as minimal as what I should have done. So I looked quite big, but didn't get as lean. And then it's been a progression of just kind of keep challenging myself. And so by putting myself in a position where I get people to relax and calm and just actually be themselves and stop thinking they need to be someone else, all of a sudden you go, I can just be me. And then obviously I shoot with a hell of a lot of women to give them that space of feeling comfortable to just express themselves. I realise how hard that is. Right. And without taking this too deep into a dating scenario, you know that to get someone to feel that comfortable and open up and fully express themselves is you have to do a lot of the right things. Right. With guys, it's even harder because being vulnerable is like not something you do. Right. You being vulnerable in front of him is not going to make her go, that's my man. Right. But at the same time, moments of it makes you realise, okay, there's a heart there. You just don't want him crying every day on you going.
Yeah.
That's true,
I mean, yeah.
You still want a man.
Yeah.
It's like that conversation we was having earlier about having, do you want a nice guy, but you don't want a overly nice guy.
Yeah.
You want a nice man.
But at the same time, a man being like vulnerable and like in touch with their emotions is very attractive as well. But like you said, not to a certain extent, but like you said, you can't be like
you want to know there's a
every
connection
day.
there, but you don't want someone who's like leaning on your shoulder.
But you're like a brick wall, like they're just I'm banging on it and there's nothing happening.
If we were sitting here watching a Notebook every night and I was sitting there sobbing my eyes out, would you be sitting there going, oh, he's cute? Or would you be going, Jesus, liven up?
No, I think I'd find it cute.
For the 5 minutes it would.
And
I suppose you just never know.
But then also like that's the thing with it is it's not, you need to know that you can go to that place. And like a lot of the guys that I work with the new thing that obviously we'll talk about in a bit, is a lot of it is you're not meant to feel, or you believe you're not meant to feel like that, even though that you're going through those feelings of not feeling good enough, not feeling like you're doing the right thing. And so I get it. Right, I understand what it feels like to be like that. And even if you are jacked and look, some of the guys that look incredible, they look like cover models. They don't know that.
No.
They don't sit there and think, yeah, I'm stunning.
Yeah,
look at me, like literally like Butterwood, like,
But even some of the boys you saw on my shoot, the night before, how you ready? Oh man, I'm fucking nervous. But you know what I mean? I'm like, mate, you are literally...
You don't need to
when people say that to me, I'm like, that's good.
That's good. Yeah,
Trust me, it's good. Like,
I said that to my girls. They were like, I'm so nervous. And I was like, honestly, I want you to feel like that. Like you need to go in there with that kind of nervous excitement feeling.
Because then that's when, the way I've put it to people is when you're in that moment, who shows up? The person that's in control and can do this, or the person that hits the panic button and fucks off. Right? And I've had people run out of the gym realising that, wow, like this is that moment. And for a lot of people, that moment, it's almost like that wall is so high. Some people, they just need to breathe, right? Other people, they've had a lot of stuff going on. And it's obviously the biggest struggle I've always had is I have no idea where your clients come from. You literally bring them in front of me. I don't know what their names are. Most of the time, to be honest with you, I can tell you most of the names of the people I shot with you, both of you two in the last couple of weeks, right? However, it's not about their name.
No.
It's like, can I be good enough in that moment to get them to show who's really behind the facade that they've been holding on to? And the second that drops off, and you'll remember from your shoot, the second you let go of that, almost that guard a little bit, not that you had a massive one, but that shed that skin almost, you suddenly feel light as fuck. And it's
saw it.
It's not, and it's also, it's what's amazing is that when you watch it, it's like, you see an attractive side of someone, you think like, that's the person. Not necessarily like, don't get me wrong, you've got a great body on you, but like it wasn't just a sexual side of things. It's like there's a person that does, like, I've got someone who can stick by my side here.
Yeah.
Right through whatever. Like, as you know, when things get tough, you want someone who's going to go, don't worry, like, I'm still with you regardless.
Yeah.
That means for you, go push. Right? That also means, like, you know, when you've got those vulnerable moments, you know, actually, like, even though obviously hormones and stuff, you're going to still have more of those moments. You've got someone there to go, right, achieve what you need to achieve. Let's go at this in life. You don't want someone who's going to be like, oh, to play it safe all the time.
No,
like,
support is key. You're very supportive. You are very supportive.
Am I?
Yeah, no, you are.
And
You
that was a
understand.
compliment. He's being vulnerable.
Yeah, take it.
He's done it.
Yeah, there you go. Podcast done.
Yeah,
Finally.
achieved.
Look,
But
thanks,
you
Ben.
are. You are. Obviously, like, we have different, same but different businesses and life, whatever. But you are pretty supportive.
Yeah, pretty.
You make my dinner.
You're very supportive.
That was one for the trolls.
I'd say.
Load him up.
Hold them up. Yeah, no, you're a supportive girl. Also, I'm emotional. I cried. I nearly cried the other night. Remember the American Idol thing?
Britain's Got Talent, wasn't it?
No, American Idol. We won't talk about it. The
I thought
guy
you were
was
talking about the dog
singing
thing.
about his late dad. This
Yeah.
James
Just means
Blunt.
you two have got far too much time on your hands.
Oh, honestly.
Mate, I watched the whole video and I was like, I had like a tear in my eye. Mate, if you haven't seen it, American Idol's latest winner, look at his name's Saint Tongi.
It was quite
Like
emotional.
a Samoan big guy, lost his dad and his dad gave him a guitar and he went on then he sung a James Blunt one about his dad's dying or whatever. And mate, goes to the final and then sings with James Blunt. And he couldn't sing because he was crying. And I was like, mate, it's giving me good. Look at the goosebumps.
Oh, you
See?
are emotional.
Anyway.
Should we leave you two for a minute?
Anyway,
step
that's enough of me. Let's go back to Ben.
He doesn't like that, is he? But the vulnerable side's coming. It's like protect.
Stop. Nath, edit that out. Anyway, where was we? Yeah, Ben, obviously, fitness professional, international superstar, photographer.
Superstar.
You get the best out of people. We've seen it firsthand. You've experienced it. Getting the best out of people when they're obviously at their best, but obviously bringing out more. Now let's talk about the transition you're making over to your new business. Give us a bit of insight on that so people can understand.
So I knew that there was something underneath all of this. Like, everyone kept saying to me, he's so much more than a photographer. And I was like, I had to listen to it. And I was like, okay, why don't I just be more than? And I was like, okay, I wasn't quite sure what it was. I know that I'm good with mindset stuff, but I'm not a therapist. I know I'm good at getting results, even though I don't have all of the systems. It's like getting people to, most of the, like, you all know now from doing business coaching and stuff, when you're in a good mood, you figure most of the stuff out yourself.
Yeah.
If you need help, you just ask for it, right? So I knew that I was good with getting the best out of people. And I started thinking to myself, like, there's a lot of cost implications with the business that had a knock-on impact with what we were trying to do as a house and stuff. And obviously that was real stuff. That's my kids, my wife, life, and all that stuff. And so I started really thinking into it. And I was like, I see you guys doing online coaching. You've got the flexibility to do stuff. Like, my diary is like slammed. And I've been at that level. I've effectively outworked everyone, right? And that's not an ego thing. Like, because some people say, well, screw you. Like, it's gutted to be you.
Mate, we see it, mate. You're on the road every day to bloody Glasgow, bloody Newcastle, Dubai.
And so I know that I've outworked people, but now it's a time to be smarter with that instead of it just being like, yeah, I can push myself to the limit.
Yeah.
And so obviously we've had 2 kids. We've now got 2 kids in the last couple of years. And it got to a point where I was like, am I going to be the dad that regrets never taking the decisions that I needed to make in order to give them the best life, into protecting something that I've worked hard to build? And I'd already said all along that I wasn't meant to be a photographer. Photography was effectively my access to people, and that's what I'd come to learn. And that's why for me now I don't think about the photography, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's now access to people. And every time I have a new challenge, it's a new lesson to learn. It's something I can add, right? And so I signed up with a business coach. All of this was massive fortune in some respect and luck, I suppose, because obviously it was just the right time to do all of this stuff. Had a call with Phil Graham, my business coach. Signed up to him on I think it was the Thursday. On the Monday, we did the weekly webinar that they put on. And it happened that Phil got stuck at Gatwick when it snowed heavily. And I was on the webinar. I said, hey, Phil, I'm literally a mile away at Gatwick. like my gym's just around the corner. Did you want to come and use my office? Like I've got Wi-Fi and all that stuff. And he goes, no, absolutely fine here, mate. There's good coffee here. I've got a good internet connection. However, let's have dinner tonight. It's like, cool. Never met the guy. All of a sudden going to go meet him. 2 hours, 2.5 hours of just shooting the shit, just chatting away. Spent £65, £70 on parking for 2 hours, which most people go, why have you done that? He said the word identity. And that was the one thing that it never clicked. If someone else had said it, I probably would have just discarded it. He said most people don't know their own identity. And I was like, there we go.
That's it.
And that was literally like, it was almost like everything just went, book closed, off you go, right? Or like open a new book and it was like, there we go. And it was true, really. Like I just bring out the identity in people, like the real person behind it.
Yeah.
You know, we all think we have to be this perfect thing, whatever, and we can't have any of these thoughts, feelings, and obviously, like especially with running businesses, you have all sorts of like. Some days you think I'm running through walls, other days you're gonna think like, why did I build? Where's this come from? What's this curveball? And then especially down the route of having children, where like you don't get second chances. I've realised from my mistakes of not pushing hard enough in my past to be ahead of the game, that now I've got to do everything the hard way. But if I can do it the hard way, I can make people do it the easy way. And so what I'm trying to help people do is unlock that person inside of them by giving them just the time to think about some of those things, like actually saying to you, take an hour out and go and do some of this deeper work that you need to do. Figure some of this stuff out. If you're constantly feeling like you're not good enough, you're, you've had some adversity in your life and you want to be more, you actually want to be more than just saying, oh, I had this and I never did anything. I want to take people and like supercharge that to go like, I'll support you because I realise what you need is someone by your side, just like we were talking about earlier, to get to that place. Because it's almost like when you need someone, you just want to know you've got someone there. And then we've obviously created a community of it because everyone in there's like-minded. It's like just a breeze, the community like runs itself. But I actually like getting involved with it.
Yeah.
So the identity unlockers just basically giving business owners, entrepreneurs. I've got a few other people like in Norway and Scotland that aren't business owners. They just want to get more out of themselves and they just want to move up the ladder and feel more happiness. Literally, I've had like maybe 10, 20-minute interactions with them on a photo shoot and they've just gone, you've done like, but she won't mind me saying this. There's one girl up in Scotland who's been seeing a therapist for 3 years and she said, you've done more for me in 10 minutes of a photo shoot where 5 minutes of it, you were taking my photo than my therapist has done in years. And already like she's pushing for promotion. She's getting back out dating again. Like she's feeling confident again just because I'm like changing the way she's thinking about herself.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
And just using what I know of psychology and just challenging those limiting beliefs of like, yeah, people said to me, I'd never make it. I'd never do all these things. You're not holding me back. You're not stopping me.
No.
And like, I'm not this big like ego, like I'm going to be the biggest dick in the room. Like watch me. I'll just prove it. Like I'll just outlast people. And I've got that inside of me. And that's my dad's at 120%. Like I always just put it in.
It's always going to be in your head, isn't it?
And it just literally like I don't even have to think about it now. It's just like every day, like I know the impact it's having and I'm just praying that I'm doing the right things to also give my kids a better future so that then in the future, when they're at that time where life gets hard and they start having to make some serious decisions, they've got a role model. They've got someone who's been through whatever hell and back they need to go through. And then obviously from all of the knowledge and the lessons that I've seen from everyone else, it's like I can just help so many people with it. And it's just getting people together who are all like-minded, that it's almost like you've got similar things with, even though you're completely come from a different complete world, you then feel like you're just a part of something. And then you can go out and do more. And like some of the coaches are doing some phenomenal things, like in terms of like properly impacting people's lives, making more financial security for themselves so they can actually go home and not keep stressing about the business disappearing every 5 minutes and that side of things, and actually just feeling more like the type of person that runs the business in the way they want to, instead of just like holding on the railings and just going like, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes you need that in order to grow, but also like another girl up in Scotland, she's had so much growth with it and she goes, I've completely lost who I am. I've got no idea. And she's opened up to me loads, bless her. She's a phenomenal woman. Like she's just had so much to deal with in such a short amount of time. And she messaged me yesterday going, Ben, I literally got all my check-ins done in half the time and everyone's like come back to me saying, this is phenomenal. I feel great. And she goes, I feel like myself again. I've lost myself for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to nip that in the bud so people don't keep living this life where they're like, I've lost myself for 5 years. When I was on the golf tour, and I know we can only say limited amounts.
Limited
You've
to
got
golf
5
talk.
minutes, go.
I'm not going to talk about golf because, but when I was
Get
on,
excited.
let me out. Where's my 7-iron? When I was on the golf tour, I was on it for 10 years, traveling around Europe. I was alone a lot in hotel rooms by myself. And before anyone goes too far away with that, like when you're in that type of place, your brain goes all over the place because you're just constantly by yourself every day. Sure, it's made me more comfortable to be by myself, but I was surrounded by people who could have done more and didn't.
Yeah.
And they were just always, all they ever spoke about was the last job they were on. And I was just like,
You don't want to be surrounded by that.
This is awful. Like, and they were all older than me. I was in charge of all of them. It was great for my confidence, and it also taught me everything that I don't want to do. So instead of looking at it as a massive negative, I just took the positives from it and went, you know what, I managed to spend 10 years as the head television engineer on the golf tour, performing at some of the, and putting in systems at the Ryder Cup and all of these massive events. It was on my shoulders to get it right. And I didn't often get it wrong. And if I did get it wrong, there was often normally a bigger reason behind it. And they relied upon me so much that when the problems they would come at me.
Yeah.
And it was only afterwards when I left, I had one of the bosses come up to me and said, you're the only one I could rely upon if we went in, going into battle. Everyone else is flaky. They come up with so many issues and problems. He said, you never gave me any issues. And I almost feel bad that when you did have issues, we didn't support you more. I was like, but I'm thankful you didn't support me more because otherwise I wouldn't be who I am now.
Yeah.
They tried
We'd
to
still be there.
Yeah, exactly. Then the only reason why I left was I actually asked for a pay rise and I sat there and put paper in front of them to show them how much money I'd saved them and made them in a year. And my boss just went, that's amazing, let me come back to you. And then he walked past me in the corridor and went, oh, sorry, we can't do anything. And I literally was like, I'd literally spent a year, almost like dieting for a year and a half and just not seeing a result. Like you imagine how mind-numbingly painful that would be to do that and have that. And I just went, fine then. And that year I literally turned my photography business from I think I made £1,400 in an entire year to £18,000 that next year.
Wow.
And that was what bought our house. And then that was what gave me access to leave in it. And then I just went all in. Because I suddenly realised what they would pay me to do a day on the golf tour, I could earn per photo shoot and I could do 3 or 4 a day.
Yeah.
And then I ended up doing that and then suddenly went, holy shit, what have I built?
Is that when you started doing, we did more, did you do weddings and stuff then as well?
No, the weddings was all prior to the television work.
Oh, right.
I literally I stopped everything in photography for 2 years.
Okay.
I'd done weddings for work members and stuff like that. People just said, could you do stuff? And I think what I learned was doing the corporate stuff, I missed that personal interaction. People are my oxygen, I'm fully aware of it. If I'm sat by myself for too long, I just lose the plot. I'm just I need people around me. Just because I feel like I've got so much more to give and I feel like I'm at my best. So I want to be around people. That's why stuff like this, you'll hear me, I just fucking rabbit on.
It's not only me.
Yeah, it's nice for a change.
Taking a break. Don't really getting too vulnerable over there, right? But so having those opportunities, having those things happen to me have all just been the worst. What I've come to learn is my worst times have actually been my best times.
Yeah.
When I felt the lowest, it's given me the opportunity to level up. Yeah. And I think a lot of people
it's the
don't
same
realise.
for a lot of people though, isn't it? I guess you bring that out of people.
Well, they're still, when they come to a photo shoot, they're standing in front of me still think about that worst time.
Yeah.
They're still, I'm not good enough, I'm never pretty enough, I'm not lean enough, I'm all that stuff. And then when I can flip that switch on it and it's almost I don't know what you've just done there, but I feel very different.
Yeah.
And to see that literally down, repeat, it's a shame it's got boring.
I was going to say, you must get it so much that it's almost just
and
normal.
It's and that's what I mean. It's phenomenal, but now I've got to take it to a higher purpose.
Yeah.
And to give you some context, I had my best month ever last August. I out-earned what I used to earn on the golf tour in 1 month. And it was also the worst month. I literally just didn't stop. I barely saw my kids that month because they went on holiday for a little bit and I just worked the weekends. I thought
worth talking about that as well, about obviously you've got 2 kids and your job is you're not around as much as you would want to be around
people.
Yeah.
And so I'll be honest, I've cried my eyes out in the car driving places because I just feel like, am I being good enough for them? I realise the knock-on effect is I've been able to support my wife to be at home. So they've always got someone there.
Yeah.
Whether
so
I'm being
hard,
there.
isn't it?
And so I'm learning the hard way. However, I then make sure that when we have opportunities for holidays and stuff like that, like we do stuff.
Yeah, it's really hard. I saw an interview with a billionaire. I can't remember his name, and they were asking those questions, and they said, "Do you have any regrets?" And he said, "One." He goes, "I didn't see my kids grow up." And he was, and obviously that's it's horrible. And he goes, "Would you change it?" And he goes, "I'd change it for everything." He goes, "I don't need to be a billionaire." He goes, "But I'm never going to see them kids grow up.
Yeah,
They're beautiful kids, but I don't have any memories of them being born to when they're like 10.
I'm not too bad with it because I make sure every Sunday I'm off. Every Tuesday afternoon I'm off, and then if I don't have photo shoots now, I will nip home and then like go and walk the dog with them or just do something. So it's not that it's not that it doesn't give me enough purpose to just earn loads of money. The flip side of that is I'm very aware of the numbers because that's what builds you financial security, and most people, that's what they don't understand. Genuinely, one of the best bits of advice I can give anyone is work out what you need to live off of per month, times it by 24, so you've got 2 years worth of living. That's the figure you need to see in your bank account.
Yeah.
The sooner you can get to that number being in your bank account, and you're probably calculating it in your head, right? If you knew that you had X amount of money sat in the bank and you go, do I need to stress today?
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. It's that safety net, isn't it?
Then
it's
all
a
of a sudden,
net.
all of the problems disappear.
Yeah.
You can deal with the rest of it. Money's one of those things where you need to do the hard work. And if you're listening to this going, probably calculating in your head and you're going, holy shit, it's going to take me 10 years to save that. It's probably a good indicator that you need to level up.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's only not because I'm saying you're being average. It's because actually if you can get there quicker and you're capable of doing it, prove it to yourself and then give your family back what you can do. The flip side of it is then you need to create that time where you go, I'm off, I'm at home, I'm present. And then when I go to work, I'm at work and I properly deliver.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And so the hard thing with the photography is the travel, the overheads of running the gym and everything, and then just through some business stuff that I didn't know when I started. If I'd known now what I know, hindsight would like crap. That's why I started a new business. It's just to give me time back to go and be the dad that I want to be.
Yeah, no, I love that.
And so we're in a place where we need to buy a house next year. I will not stop
until you've got that house
for them, because that 10 years of their life that I will be present for is going to be fucking important.
Yeah.
And so, I do try and take my kids out as much as I can. I've got 4 hours with them. My wife's going off. I've got 4 hours to go and do some stuff with them, make some memories. And it's often not with kids, it's the little moments. It's like the little things. They don't need anything like fancy.
No.
They just need some little bit of attention, some play, and actually just to let them be them. And that's what's great about it. And when you suddenly realise how powerful that is, another little bit of a lesson here, but I got told by a business coach to write a letter to my son before he was born, but I didn't know we were having a boy. So I got told to write him a letter. And that for me was the first time I was honest with myself.
Really?
It's hard. Trust me, it's hard. Right? If you write one today, you might see the vulnerable side of him come out. Right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's
get a pen and paper.
That's tonight's task.
But also because it was a letter to him saying, obviously now I know it's him, but who I was going to be, who I had been, who I've become, who I was going to be, and then what I then get people now to add in. What is the cost if you don't?
There isn't any bigger form of accountability there, really.
No.
If you're writing that
If you're
letter,
going to let your kids down, then what's the point of having them?
And do you feel like you've fulfilled what you wrote in your letter?
Oh yeah, genuinely that added a zero on my paycheck.
Just from that,
because I just went, fuck this. My son's not getting anything, and my daughter's. When she came along, it was almost like I don't need to rewrite this. I'm still that person. It just went deeper. It was just I'm going to teach you how to be that person as well.
Yeah.
Because I needed to become it to teach it. So that's why with people that sign up to you, they need to know how to become the type of person that can look after themselves, when those challenges hit, like you two have done, and you've been strict with yourself to get yourself there, who's in control today?
Yeah. Am
I going to let the bullshit excuses I've had in the past come back in, or am I going to push through this boundary and get more? And that's where you guys have got some amazing results out of people, because those people have gone, you know what, those two are my role models. They're the people that I've invested into to get that result.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now I want to make sure I don't let them down, and that's a case of building a good situation that then is a place to be in. And the great thing about this, we can be all serious about this, it's fucking brilliant when you do that, because then they smile at you and they just go like,
oh, did you just get messages? I mean, like we always get messages, don't we? Like, I'm so happy I signed up. You've completely changed my life, and like I've never felt like this before. And it does kind of give you something in there, and you get it all the time from probably just general shoots, let alone the people you work with on a one-to-one basis. Like it means something, and that's your purpose, right? Like
that's what I mean. You get the long-term connection with all of it. Like I say on photo shoots, mine's like a one-night stand. I have to turn up and deliver and get it out of them.
Get it out.
Right? I don't have time to fuck around. I have to get in and get that done.
Yeah.
And the more often I can do that, the better. But that's why now, for me, the identity unlock is now something where I can have more of an even bigger impact. The thing I love about this is like, my first big goal is to get to 1,000 people. I only launched it 3 months ago. I'm currently working with 25 people across the country in different places. And like already people are saying I've had more time with my family. I've got a better relationship. Like we've been able to put more money into the bank. They've left full-time employment. They've left environments that weren't good for them, split up with partners that would mistreating them. And they just like, they're turning up and they're like this energy. It's just like, and it's almost inspiring me because it's like, holy shit, if I've done that to them, what do I need to do for myself? How much farther can I push this? If I can take that to 1,000 people, like your clients, and go, right, I can take this to 1,000 people, and then that impacts 100 people around them.
You've impacted a lot of people then.
You imagine like you like your football, do you?
Yeah.
You imagine sitting in the middle of Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
And just literally looking around and just slowly looking around going,
I've helped all them people.
Every single one of those people.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Doing something like that and having that vision of that, like it's mind-boggling. Like, but I love it. Like that's what gets me.
Yeah.
I love the thought of it. Like that's an audacious goal.
Yeah.
Watch me do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's like, it's all similar, isn't it? Like unlocking people's potential. Because people never realise they live so far in the past, or they're thinking too much about the future, don't live in the present and understand what they've already achieved or where they're at.
100%.
And I mean, I've got that tattooed on me, haven't I?
Have you?
Yeah, was it? Don't think so. They don't know what I've got tattooed on.
Oh, he's got this paragraph, and when I first met you, we got really drunk, and I was trying to read it. Wasn't I?
Was it?
Because I was so drunk, the words weren't making sense to me, and I thought they'd written it wrong or got a spelling mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. I think about that. Like, just bloody says.
Leaning into what we were talking about there, like, because you can say it from a female's point of view, right? And how did it feel to actually just open up in a way that you could use your body, but not like going too in depth, but like just be the person that you wanted to be for the people you wanted to work with, and then the knock-on impact of like showing up, and then these people, like 8 of them, come into a shoot, and you're sitting there in tears yourself, going, "What have I done?"
Yeah.
Like in a good sense.
Well, I came home, didn't I? And I was just like,
so emotional.
I feel like I held it together. There was one point where I got emotional, but I held it together the whole shoot, and then we all went for dinner after. And then I literally got home and I was like, I just feel like emotionally drained, like, but so many different emotions, like happy, like, I don't know. And yeah, that's why I did the shoot myself with you before, because I wanted to know what they were going to experience. And that almost helped me push them to do it, because I had done it. It's just like you just come out feeling like a different person.
Different person, or the one that you wanted to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd never been that person before. So it felt like a different person, if that makes sense. Because I'd never done a photo shoot in my underwear
not the photo
before.
shoot. You were talking about being the person.
Just never put myself in a vulnerable position where I was like so out of my comfort zone.
Massive confidence booster for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I'm quite a shy person anyway. I feel like this is my therapy session now. But I'm quite a shy, people know me as like a shy girl. So to have put myself out there like that was a lot for me.
Yeah.
Although everyone's like, oh, Emma's a coach, like she's got a good body, like she must be like so confident and stuff like that. Like, no, I'm not.
No.
But obviously that's the perception that people got from it, if that makes sense.
So did it feel good to then, when you looked at that, you was no longer holding on to that perception of who you thought you was?
Yeah, I did it. I achieved something I didn't think I would have ever done.
Well done.
In myself and in my business.
There you go. It all helps.
Thanks
and like to also to be able to express yourself. Just as there was no limits to it, was there? There was
No.
No.
And then also that has a knock-on impact of just coming home and feeling happy.
Yeah.
Like you're just, I'm not saying you'll be any different with a dog or Mike, but like, you're not suddenly looking for issues and problems. You're like, I just feel good. Like,
I feel good.
Let's go for a drink.
Yeah.
I just want to celebrate. Like, I'm looking at opportunities, not going, oh, am I going to be lean enough? Like, is this blue going to look good? Like all that type of stuff.
Like I was like that before. I was like, I don't feel lean enough. I don't know if this is the right outfit to wear. I don't know any of that. And then you literally get in there and you're like, what was I worried about? Like none of that matters. It's not about that.
How much pressure was you putting on yourself to be perfect?
So much. Especially because I felt pressure because I was like, I am doing a shoot. So I was like, people are going to expect like veins popping out and like you looking insane. And like, obviously that helped me work really hard and I needed that. But at the end of the day, none of that mattered because it wasn't about how I looked. It was about how I felt.
And also, the feedback you got back after that was mad, wasn't it? The amount of messages, pictures, people signing up, asking to do photo shoots.
Yeah.
Like I even had the girls that have done mine and gonna do mine are all off the back of her. Mm-hmm. My clients saw her and were like, oh my God, your girlfriend's incredible. I want to do that. And then you tell her that and you're like, it's all good.
But it's also like you put pressure on yourself to be perfect in that moment. The pressure of being that got the best out of you, so you're thankful for the pressure. But you chasing perfection or the vision of perfection wasn't the right thing.
Yeah.
When you were in your underwear feeling confident, did you feel perfect?
No.
You should have done.
No, at the moment.
In that moment. Like when you were actually just moving like you and letting that person come out.
Yeah.
Did you feel more like the version of perfect that you thought you was hoping for? Or like was planning on?
I think you did. You had
I wouldn't say perfect. But like I feel like
what we're talking about here isn't the visual.
No, exactly. Thing. If I did another shoot, I probably wouldn't be that fussed about getting really lean for it. I didn't like looking back on it now. I would have been happy to do it not looking that lean because it wasn't about how I looked, if that made sense.
Mike wait until she's like bloated and say, right, you're going for a shoot tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Now we'll challenge you.
No, but I just don't think that that's so important anymore.
Yeah, but
I did before I did it.
That's the positive from the shoot.
Yeah.
So
how good does it feel that you don't need to be perfect to feel fucking happy?
No, exactly. Yeah. And it was nothing to do with feeling perfect. It was just being me, being the raw me,
being happy in your skin.
Yeah. But that's okay.
And that would you class as perfect?
No, I don't like the word perfect.
No, but in terms of like if you were chasing after perfection, you being happy and in your own skin and not worrying. You're now saying you could, like, if I said to you tomorrow, turn up at my gym and do an underwear shoot.
Yeah.
Right, throw you out your comfort zone, but you're not so worried about it now.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a place of almost like perfection where you're just like, it doesn't matter anymore. That's not important.
Yeah.
It's a place of happiness within yourself.
Right,
yeah.
Maybe we won't use perfect with you.
No, I don't know why I don't like the word perfect. I just feel like no one's perfect, but as long as you're you, it doesn't matter. You know?
And that was what you got to do. You got to be me, and now nothing matters.
And that's what I saw with the other girls. They were just being their raw, real selves that, don't need to be perfect. It's just you, the way you are.
We finally got the comment out.
She's now
got the reel that she wants.
Anyway, we are near end.
I think one more question for you.
I was about to say, do you have any questions? But who cut who up that time?
What do you mean? Who are you asking? Who has any questions?
I was going to ask you if you've got any questions for Ben.
Right, yeah.
Nath, can you call Jerry Springer in?
No, I was just going to say, what is the one bit of advice? Obviously, you give so much to people, but if you were to just put it in like one bit of advice to someone that's feeling not happy in themselves, they're not where they want to be, and they don't really have a purpose, what would you say to them?
You need every one of those bits of emotion to get that, to find it. If you don't feel like you've got a purpose, if you don't feel like you're going to die with the values that you believe that you should have, if you're not achieving anything, if you're not creating stability and success for your family, if you're thinking really deep, then what are you waiting for to change? What are you hoping to change? If you look at what you've got now, all of these feelings that you're going through are telling you that you are not happy. Change. It's blunt.
Yeah.
But if you do change and you listen to this and go, if you're sitting there today, you're listening to this, you don't feel safe, which without being sexist is more of a female thing. If you, as a guy, you don't feel like you've got the status that you feel like you should have as the whatever you want to be, and you don't feel like you're in control, that is you telling yourself you could be so much more than this, and you're not living up to the values and the levels that you know you're capable of.
Yeah.
So do whatever you need to do, take those steps, because it's those steps that will lead on to getting the answers. So use that. I don't feel good enough. I feel average. I'm not working towards anything. I have no purpose. I have no future, to go and make one. When I left the golf tour, I was 28 and I didn't have one. I'm now 36, 2 kids, a wife, dog, 2 businesses, security in the bank, and every day I wake up not questioning what I'm doing. And that feels like, you'll hate the word perfect.
It's your form of success, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And nobody can take any of that away from me. Right, sure, there's been connections with people that have helped, but also I've helped them.
Yeah.
Right, so we're all in this together, and actually you can lean upon people, because you'd much rather be a part of a success story than be part of the reason why it failed.
Yeah.
So go and be part of the success story, whether it's a friend, a family member, whoever, a work colleague that you tie onto. You set some big challenges, be accountable to each other, or sign up with a coach and do that if you can justify the cost of it. It's worth it in the long run. Like most people look at it and go, holy shit, that's a cost, but that's the cost of success. What are you going to be? Are you going to be a success or not?
Yeah.
Right?
Here's one for you. The feeling of failure is not as bad as the feeling of regret. To get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's, you know, I've spent enough time feeling like I wasn't good enough, too nice.
Yeah.
Right? And it just didn't get me anywhere. And it didn't mean that I turned into a prick all of a sudden. It just meant that I was actually honest and scared people and pushed people.
Yeah.
You know, but actually push you because I wanted to support you, not push you because I was trying to throw you in a ditch. But also, if you ended up in the ditch, that's a reason to say, okay, what did I allow myself to do? Why did I allow myself to get to that place? That person was trying to push me to get the best out of me.
Yeah.
What am I missing here? What's that missing link that I need to put in to get to that place where I then am a success? I feel confident. I feel happy. I've got a purpose.
So basically, if you're feeling all of those things at the moment, like you're not good enough and everything like that, it's almost good that you're realising that, because that's going to be the changing point.
That's exactly
So
what
it's
you
good
know.
that you're feeling like that, because you need to feel these feelings in order to change.
On your photo shoot, you needed to feel like you were vulnerable and nervous in order to feel the high that you felt. If you hadn't felt any of that lot, it wouldn't have been so good.
Yeah.
So you almost needed that, like, holy shit, this is crap, to then have it so good.
Yeah.
Right? And most people don't live out of a case of like they need to take action now. They think it'll all sort itself out in a couple of years, and they're willing to just hold on to mediocre for years.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't mean I've got everything perfect. You know, there's still so much more I can do in my relationship.
Never
and
perfect.
No, fucking I'll be reminded that every time now. But I'm far happier than I was 10 years ago.
There you go. So you're moving forward.
Yeah.
And like 10 years goes quite quickly.
Also, like I just said, you don't have that regret now.
No,
because you've fulfilled what you wanted to fulfill. So
I'm happy for all that stuff that happened, because like I said, my worst moments have brought this into me being me today.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and like you guys have had those moments, and other people that are listening going, yeah, that adversity was crap. Like really wasn't what I wanted. Who's now going to turn it into a success? Who's going to grab hold of it and go, yeah, this is what I had, but this is now what I'm going to create.
Yeah. Wow.
And on that note,
That was a very powerful episode.
there you go.
I feel like I've learned some things. Do you feel like you've learned some
Can
things?
see the producer crossing his arms because we've just breached 45 minutes.
Have you learned some things?
I have. I think it's good. I mean, I really like what Ben's doing. I do from obviously having clients. You just see it all the time with people struggling with purpose or just not understanding what they can achieve, and then when they achieve it, they go, "Oh my god, I can't believe I did that."
Yeah.
So, and you needed to bring that out of them, because if you didn't bring that out of them or unleash that potential or take them to that limit, they never would have got there. So it's such a good feeling, and like what you do, you actually take people to what's possible, and instead of people just
I think it's
living the standard.
when you get the other side of that confidence, you realise there's opportunity.
Yeah.
When you don't have
100%.
confidence, you don't see the opportunities. You just see like barriers. And so you've both know, you've done photo shoots, like you have the confidence, you come away going, I've got opportunities to do whatever I want here.
Yeah.
Like, and it's only because you put yourself through it and you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even with coaching, you have clients that more confident go on dates, more confident, get a pay rise,
Mm-hmm.
more confident, go into the free weight zone at the gym, or go and ask someone for a spot. You know, it just opens up so many more channels.
I had one girl on a photo shoot. Generally, she went home more confident. Went home, showed up to her partner, and let's say let her guard down, fell pregnant.
Ooh.
There you go.
Created a life off of feeling more confident because she'd actually relaxed in herself, and she went, I can actually be the mum that I want to be now.
Yeah.
Which is a whole level of deepness. But like when she messaged me that, I was like,
wow,
that's like that is life changing. That's
a testimonial for you.
Absolutely. You basically helped her conceive her child.
Wait, what's that film? Good Luck Chuck. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
All the girls that, I mean, obviously you don't have sex with him, but all the girls that have sex with him end up going and getting married. Every time you talk, every girl you talk to ends up finding
that's what's amazing about all of this stuff. That when you've like just to be able to do stuff like that, and just have a little bit of an impact in people's life and be a part of their journey and their chapter, like, and that's what you guys are doing for them as well, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing what you're doing, and thank you for doing my shoot. Thank you for helping our clients.
Yeah,
well, and also thank you from me, because what you're giving to my children, I couldn't have done alone. Without all of these people that you found and coached and put all yourself through that stress, I wouldn't be giving my kids what I've got. So, like, thank you to both of you.
Pleasure.
Would you want to drop your Instagram or whatever so people can follow you?
It's benmark_identity unlock. I nearly forgot then.
Yeah, I forget them all the time. Don't worry. And obviously follow us. Usually, you know our followers.
Come on, roll it off.
Okay, @_ couple of coaches, @M_the coach. @Mike Clark Fit.
That's it.
Peter, oh no, that's your email.
God, you can't get it right.
@Mike Clark Fit. That's it. And then @NJM_flicks with 2 eyes. Is that everyone? Have I got everyone there?
You forgot the golden Max.
I forgot Max. He's got an
anyway,
Instagram,
he's
but
asleep.
you don't want to see that.
Anyway, on that note,
thank you, Ben. Been
cheers,
a pleasure.
Ben. Thank you.
And see you in the next one.
See ya.